Hey guys, Kenny Heatley back again with another video. Thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel. This is a topic that I want to talk about, and you're probably thinking that this is just going to be one big whinge fest about social media. It's really not. I just thought it'd be interesting to do a video about this and talk about this because I'm just old enough to have experienced life in a good way pre-internet. So I was in high school, before the internet really took off. I remember in the late stages of high school, we started to get email accounts, and you'd dial in, there'd be that funny like noises, and it would take ages for one page to load, and you'd log into your email account and no one would be sending you emails because no one would know what it was and all that sort of stuff. So, and then smartphones or like mobile phones were invented also while I was in high school, but they didn't really take off for a while. And I remember I had a mobile phone in like the last years of my high school, I think, or the start of university. But there was quite a long time before all that connectivity and smartphones. Well, I think they were invented in 2003 or 4. I'd have to check, but I'd had a good stint of my adult life before smartphones really started to take off, thanks to Apple. I remember I had one of those iPods, and I got the touchscreen one, and I thought, this is amazing. I got like this touchscreen iPod, and back then you could connect it to Wi-Fi. But then the first iPhone came out, and then everyone started to get those smartphones and the touchscreens and everything like that. And then it just kind of exploded with the social media and everything. And I remember it was about 2006 where Facebook was invented. But it didn't, I didn't sign up initially for ages and ages and ages. And then it kind of exploded. And I initially got into social media because my job kind of required me to have a social media presence. So when I went to the Weather Channel in 2008, I really started to sign up to Facebook and Twitter and all that sort of stuff because, I thought it would be good for my job to have a bit of an online profile. And I found out it's hard. It's hard building an online profile. But I mainly just used it for work, and then it kind of progressed into connecting with all your friends and everything like that. So that's kind of like my history of being involved with the internet and social media and smartphones and things like that. But it's just so crazy now. The amount of social media that you have, all the accounts, how many people you're connected to daily, how many people are seeing your stuff daily and everything like that, and the amount of content that every single person is pushing out there is just amazing. And it would just baffle someone from the 80s that just hadn't seen this, that every day people would be creating these videos and photos and posts and quotes and all this sort of stuff, and be uploading it and sharing it with the world every single day, just every single person. And I think it would be baffling to someone from the 80s, and I think they would be slightly horrified as well, because I experienced the 80s as a child, and then sort of the 90s as my younger years in high school and things like that. And back then, I'm old enough to remember how we interacted with people and everything like that. And there was, you had your dickheads and everything like that, but there was, I think, more stoicism back then. And if you met a stranger, you were you were respectful to them, and you didn't have to have anything to do with them or anything like that, but you said hi and that sort of thing, and went on your merry way. And then people that you knew, you would be respectful to them, and gossiping was kind of frowned upon. I guess the 80s version of social media was gossiping, where you'd just be on the phone or with someone in person and just quietly talking about someone else, and that's what you called gossiping. But that was generally frowned upon. And then, but you would be respectful to them in person. And other than that, you just didn't say anything. You didn't have a voice for all your, personal grievances to come to the surface. And you didn't have a platform, because that platform wasn't acceptable. People didn't care about your personal grievances. They they would just shut you down as a whinger or something. But now we have all these different online platforms where strangers can come and hear your like personal grievances. And I think like people from the 80s, like if they were an adult with the 80s and just saw what it was like now, they would be absolutely horrified about how people are interacting with people online and the nasty comments and like the blatant self-promotion. And look, I do blatant self-promotion. I mean, in today's day and age, it's kind of expected that you do if you want to sell products. Like I've got an ebook and things like that. You know, this channel is a form of blatant self-promotion. Like, you know, I enjoy it and I enjoy doing it, but like these social media channels, like you're just like putting your opinions out there on a daily basis. You're trying to make people look at what you're doing and all this sort of stuff. So that is like, you know, self-promotion. And, you know, we'll go into like the addiction and all that sort of stuff later. Like that's a whole nother different thing. But then it's like how we interact with people and strangers online. And, you know, you go on and like people think that they can just completely shut down someone in the most rude way and call them names. And like, they don't even know where this person is. And like celebrities these days, like the heyday for celebrities was really in the 80s and 90s, because now like celebrities, whenever they put something out there, like I'm talking about like the really big celebrities, they have these haters that go on and just like harass them, you know, every single time they put something out and things like that. And they can do this. They have a direct channel to everyone now. Everyone in the world, whether you're a stranger or whatever, has now a direct channel to you. So they can search for your profile. If they want to talk to you, they can. Like they straight away. And they can say whatever they want, and there's no like consequence. It's just accepted that, oh yeah, well that's how YouTube comments go. You know, that's how Facebook comments go these days. It's like you just expect people to be really nasty and stuff. And the attitudes have changed. In my opinion, the attitudes around how we interact with strangers have changed because of social media. And yes, you might not, you know, say this to them face to face either. But if you're in public and that sort of thing, but still, it's still a person. And, you know, it kind of bothers me a little bit that this happens like online. You shouldn't just be harassing people that you don't know and things like that. And this is not a lecture. I didn't mean this to be a lecture. I just wanted to make some comparisons about how someone would be viewing it. If they were viewing social media and they'd never been exposed to it before, and they were from the 80s where you had a certain way and expectation about how you dealt with people and strangers and how you interacted them. There was this unwritten code, you know, but now we have this like anything goes code on social media, and sometimes it can be scary. And a lot of, you know, there has been times where it's driven people to suicide because there's those online trolls. Like trolling didn't exist in the 80s. Like, in order to troll someone in the 80s, you would have had to have written them nasty postal letters like every single day and gone to the post office and put a stamp on it and addressed it to them and then posted them a trolling letter. You know, I think the ease of everything now, the ease of how easy it is to be nasty to someone and how quickly you can do it and how easy you can do it, and how there's no consequences. You know, how they can't just come around to your house and punch you in the face, you know, because you're just like they're from another country or whatever. Like there's that internet barrier, and that's allowed people to just say and do whatever they want online. And I think someone from the 80s, like just seeing it for the first time, would be pretty horrified from it. I'd love to hear your comments as well about this. Get the chat going down below. Like and subscribe as well. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.